60-second tattoo review. Here we go. This tattoo was sent in by Jeffrey Graham, and he is actually the artist that tattooed it. And if you want to find him on Instagram, Jeffrey Graham Tattoos, he had a lot of beautiful work on there. I absolutely recommend checking out his portfolio. He is currently working at Sacred Right Tattoo. If you want to find them, they have a great roster of artists with some really clean, decent work, so I recommend checking them out. Now, let's break it down. So right off the bat, I want to judge the color work because there's some amazing things here that blow my mind. The fact that he had this many greens in his palette to help differentiate between different plant species and different stems here, and the frogs, I mean, that's brilliant. Not a lot of artists have that many greens in their portfolio, and he did it well. He did it very well, where the frogs absolutely stand out from the leaves, from the structure of the background, and it looks super duper clean. So for the color work, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's phenomenal stuff. Now, the only thing I'm going to dock him for is that it looks a little bit blurry in some of these edges, and that's the hard thing about doing this no-line technique of realism. You really have to get those edges really clean and smooth, and especially when I zoom in on this leaf here, you can see they're not quite as clean in some spots, and that might not be his fault. This person has an older skin type, and not everything's going to heal 100% perfect on every skin type. But yeah, so for the design, I think he did a great job again. The way he placed the frogs, different positions, different dynamic angles of the frogs, and also with the background stuff, you can absolutely tell difference between background, middle ground, and foreground. So I think he did great on the designing. I'm not a fan of this wonky hand here on the frog. I think that one looks a little bit off to me. And also this patch up here, I kind of almost wish that this stem just kept coming through, or maybe there was a larger leaf there in the foreground again, but something about this blurry patch right here bleeding into the front of the frog's face, but not down here, it sort of looks a little bit off to me. But overall, I think the design is pretty good. I'm just kind of nitpicking things, but I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 for the design work. Now for the healing, let's go ahead and switch over to the healed version, and it looks great. It looked really, really phenomenal. All of them healed very, very bright. I can still see the white in there, which is great. I think he did this one in multiple sessions, which is an intelligent choice, because when you do something this large in multiple sessions, the second session you can come around and touch up things like that might not have stayed as bright. Now some of these things though, again, the soft edge right here, I think it could look a little crisper, and on these stems I think they could look a lot sharper and cleaner. And something you might have considered is doing a color line, maybe doing a color line around the frog's fingers there, or a color line on each of these stems, and I think you would have avoided some of these soft fuzzy edges. But that's kind of how you run that risk, especially on color realism. So for the healing, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10, which means overall I'm going to rate this one an 8.8 out of 10. I think it's a phenomenal piece. He shows some real skill here, and when I looked through his portfolios, I found some amazing pieces like this one. Oh my god, this is just killer work, absolutely stunning stuff. So I definitely recommend you guys check him out. Let him know down in the comments below how you'd rate this tattoo, and if you want your tattoo rated, just send it in. Alright, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.